Hello Year 11 and welcome to A-Level Biology, and I'm hopefully going to convince you that you should be studying A-Level Biology next year. So biology encompasses everything from the molecular study of life processes right up to the study of animal and plant communities, literally all of life. So there's definitely something there to interest everybody. It also opens up a huge number of doors in all kinds of different workplaces. Of course, anything to do with the health profession. You could be a doctor, a nurse, a dentist, a physiotherapist, an occupational therapist, and that's just healthcare. There's many more too. You could be a zoologist, you could be a botanist. It's a hugely broad subject, so it opens a huge number of doors. We study the OCR specification. It's OCR-A. You can find a huge amount of information and support from the website at OCR. We start talking about cells. The start of every biology course, we start with cells, right from year 7 when you drew these diagrams. You could add a couple more diagrams for GCSE. Hopefully you're thinking of ribosomes and mitochondria. But at A-level, we jump up another level. It's a huge level. There's a big void in between of knowledge, but you're really well supported with filling those gaps in your knowledge. So here we have A-level animal and plant cells. Huge number of labels, much more detail. These are features of ultrastructure of cells for which you need an electron microscope. That's something we talk about at GCSE, but we just touch on it. We look into it, like everything else in biology, at a much deeper level during A-level. 10% of every paper is mathematics. It's actually at least 10%. It might be more than that. But again, there's a lot of support to help you through the mathematical component of biology. But you will have to do some maths. There's no coursework, but there are what we call PAGs, which is this module 1, and they are practicals that you do that are not assessed, but we make sure that you've done a huge range of practical activities, and we have all the equipment available at Budehaven to allow you to do all of these practicals. So we've got 6 modules. Module 1's a practical. Module 2 is the foundations in biology. It's pretty much everything you've done at GCSE, just in greater depth, and that prepares us for modules 3, 4, 5 and 6. There's 3 exams at the end of the 2-year course of A2 biology. We've got biological processes, biological diversity and unified biology, and we'll look now at how they are assessed. So the first paper, biological processes, it examines module 1, which is the practical skills, and module 2, which is the foundations, and also 3 and 5. And then you've got the second paper, module 1, the practical skills, module 2, the foundations, and modules 4 and 6. And then the final paper is unified, where you're examined on everything on the entire course. So 3 papers, but modules 1 and 2, the practical element of biology and the foundations in biology, are examined in all 3 papers. Here's some highlights of the course. Here we can see somebody really in depth in a heart dissection. You can see the chordae tendineae there, or the heart strings. Here we've got a tiny ruler in a microscope. You might remember it from GCSE, and we're actually measuring chromosomes. You can see chromosomes. These are in dividing cells from an onion root tip. Up here, this is a trip down to Plymouth Electron Microscopy Centre, where students can get to see some slide preparation for looking at the ultrastructure of cells, the things we can't see using visible light. And down here we've got something that's produced from electrophoresis. So this is bands of DNA looking at DNA. And we have the equipment to do all these things here at Budehaven. We're very fortunate. We also get out and about to do some field work. I've done some videos you can find on the school website, YouTube videos on our succession when we were in the first lockdown earlier this year. This is some students sampling in the dunes up at Braunton Burrows, the data analysis that comes afterwards, the number crunching, some more math skills, and studying competition on a rocky shore. We're very lucky to live in this beautiful coastline, so we've got huge scope for doing practical work out in the field. What should you expect? A lot of hard work, And lots of enormous long words. Vocabulary in A-level biology is huge, but you've got a huge amount of support. Back to these features, these are observable. We're looking at cells. I'm just going to show you the type of support that we can offer. So it's a really well-resourced course. There's 3 teachers, there's myself, there's Mrs. Davidge and there's Mr. Gregg, and we have other biologists in the department as well. Super well-resourced lessons. Every lesson has been re-resourced in the past few years, and our results have been getting better and better ever since. We've got all the practical opportunities. We've got an online digital platform, and we've got a really user-friendly Google Classroom where you can access everything on the entire 2-year course. So you can look ahead and you can consolidate things that you've already done. We've also got a pairing system where you'll be paired as a Year 12 student with a student in Year 13, and that can be a really rewarding dialogue for both year groups, looking where the Year 12 student is going and revisiting what the Year 13 student has already done through the Year 12 student. This is an example of a sheet for revising the topic of cell structure. You can see there's all these additional labels which you wouldn't know about from GCSE, but we've got this support sheet that gives you everything as well, and we can build up to this level starting from knowing next to nothing about cells. What do you need? You need 2 6s in combined science or a 6 in biology, and preferably chemistry. There's a lot of chemistry in biology. You study biological molecules quite early on, which is biological molecules, it's chemistry really. Grade 5 or above in both English language and maths, GCSE. Maths, I mentioned 10% of every exam is maths, and English, there's a huge amount of very technical, scientific, biological vocabulary to learn. So why English language? Here's a bunch of words beginning with A, and that makes up just 10% of the words beginning with A. That is new vocabulary building on what you've already studied at GCSE. But you've got a huge amount of support as well. If you're interested, there's so many different books that you can look at towards A-level biology. We're fortunate, I have pretty much one inspection copy of all of these. So if you're interested in A-level biology, you can come and have a look at some of these books and try before you buy. And if you like the CGP style, we have a great discount as a school.
Biology at sixth form is really good and inclusive because we're a small size, and we also have a lot of support from our teachers. For example, we have like a Google Stream which has the PowerPoints and lessons on, which is helpful.
My favourite topic is photosynthesis and respiration because it's very interesting, and it's one that I understand quite easily, and it shows you what actually happens in the natural world.
The sixth form has a great community feeling to it. There's not very many of us.
The biology has got loads of required practicals in them, which make the learning more of a hands-on thing rather than just book learning.
I'd like to go into physiotherapy, so doing biology has given me a deeper understanding of human physiology and anatomy, which will help me at university.
Doing biology at A-level opens up so many doors. You can go into research studies or medicine, or go into teaching biology, which is why it's such a respected A-level to take.
It's an interesting subject as it helps explain most of the things that you'll see from day to day.
It has amazing teachers like Mr. Ryan, Mr. Gregg and Mrs. Davidge, which will help you through it and are keen to answer all of your questions.
I like how broad the subject is and how many sort of different subjects are like talked about within it.
It helps you in later life because I want to go into the medical profession, so that's useful for that.
So any questions you may have about A-level biology, please don't hesitate to ask me via email address up there, and I can also email you a transition pack with a lot more information on A-level biology. So I hope to see you next year.